What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Penetration channel. Before we get started today, I'd just like to say a big thank you to all my subscribers that's hung in there through this long hiatus I've been on. Well, I've gotten through all the obstacles that's been taking up the majority of my time, keeping me from providing content, so I'm hoping that I'll be able to get a more regular, scheduled amount of content uploaded for all of you to watch. Also, a channel update. Of course, I'll still be doing the penetration testing, that I've always done, which the whole reason I started this channel to begin with. But I'll also probably start exploring more subjects such as survival, ways to be prepared in the case of any kind of emergency situation. And we'll go over that in future videos. But for today, we're going to be taking a look at the M&P 2.0 and 10mm. Now, I bought this handgun pretty much for a woods gun, for if I go hiking, for protection against like four-legged threats, not self-defense against humans or something like that. So when I first bought this firearm, I started running, just regular target ammo through it. Had no problems whatsoever. The 180 grain, say Federals or American Eagles or Winchesters, they all function fine, but those cartridges are loaded down pretty much to 40 Smith & Wesson velocities, so they're a weaker powered 10mm cartridge. This firearm and its stock configuration also has fired several different types of hollow points and self-defense rounds. I believe, of course I don't know this, but I believe this firearm, they probably designed this, as a self-defense tool for something to be carried. Because when I started using full-powered 10mm rounds, I started having some issues. And I had one issue specifically over and over with the Underwood ammo, the 200 and the 220 grain hardcast rounds. And actually I had some issues with their 200 grain full metal jacket loads also, which those are loaded hot. I mean, they're within, SAMI specs, but they're loaded to full 10mm power. So the issue I was having is, so I would start with a 15 round magazine fully loaded, and as I started to shoot the rounds, it would function perfectly and cycle perfectly all the way until like the third or the second from the last round. And when I got to that point, it would fail to feed. The round would be pushed forward and at a steep upward angle, and it would jam up against the top of the barrel hood. And it would do this over and over with full power loads. And this issue led me to believe that this gun is probably undersprung for, the heavy loads. So, if I'm not mistaken, from the factory, from the research I've done, this firearm comes with a 17-pound recoil spring. And that just sounds extremely light for full house 10mm loads. So, this is the 4.6 model, full size. And I absolutely bought this for protection against like large angry animals who may want to do me harm. So I really have no use for this firearm if it will not cycle properly with full 10mm loads. So I was doing some research, and upon reading, people were suggesting that you change out the recoil springs and the mag springs. So what I did is I ordered a steel guide rod and a 22-pound recoil spring from Wolf Springs. So I'm going to change that out. I believe this was actually made for the M&P 2.0 45, but it functions fine in this because it's the same length barrel. I mean, it's the same size gun, and that should work just fine. And also, so that was from Wolf Springs, and I ordered some. These were specifically made for the 15 round 10mm magazines. These are some extra power magazine springs from Springer Precision. I just got those in. I haven't put either one of those into the firearm yet. I have, let's see, I just got a new box of the Underwood. These are the 200 grain hardcast flat nose, and they're rated at 1250 feet per second. So those are good full power 10mm loads. But like I said, this firearm needs to be able to cycle these loads. I mean, if it can't, then I really have no use for it. I do have a Springfield XDM 10mm that runs any ammo that I've put through it so far. But as some of you may know who've seen my earlier videos, I'm a huge Smith & Wesson M&P fan. I have many of those firearms, and I really want this gun to work. So we're going to see how this functions with that full powered ammo after I change the magazine spring and the recoil spring, because the failure that I was having, it was as if the slide was coming back too fast for the magazine to be able to push the next cartridge up to be fed properly. So this recoil spring should slow the slide down in its rearward motion, and it should speed it back up when it's closing back in the battery. But being that it's being slowed down when it's traveling rearward, the magazine springs with the extra power springs should have more force. Once the magazine is down to, say, 3 rounds left in the magazine, and that spring is decompressed and it's almost all of its compression is let go, that still should have enough power to reliably get those cartridges to the top of the magazine feed lips. That's what I'm hoping. So we're gonna try. I'm gonna go ahead and put these parts into the firearm. We're gonna try, and I'm just gonna load 5 rounds of the Underwood hardcast into each magazine with the new spring in it, and see how that functions. If that functions like it's supposed to, I may try 5 more apiece just to verify. I mean, because that ammo is ridiculously expensive. But then I got a box of this Underwood ammo range supply here. This is just target ammo. Let me see. These are just 180 grain full metal jackets, running 1250 feet per second. I mean, so they're still a pretty good smoking load, but I'm hoping that the gun will cycle range ammo also. If it doesn't, the range ammo is no big. It's not going to be a deal breaker for me, because like I said, I don't care if it doesn't cycle self-defense hollow points or, you know, low-powered target ammo. I want it to be able to cycle the full-powered loads. So we're going to see how it does. And if this thing gives me any issues after I change out these 2 sets of springs, it's going right back to Smith & Wesson, and I'm going to let them take care of the issue for me. But I figure I'd try this first to save me the trouble of having to ship it back. And I'm not going to bore you with the installation of these parts. I'll go ahead and get those installed, and I will pick you guys back up when I get out on the range. Alright, we got you out on the range with the Smith & Wesson M&P 10mm 4.6. I've went ahead and installed the extra power magazine springs into both of the magazines, and I have them loaded up with 5 of the Underwood 200 grain hardcast flat nose projectiles, and I have the Wolf Springs 22-pound recoil spring installed also. So we're going to test this for function now, and I'm hoping it runs all 10 of these rounds without an issue. As I said, if it can't cycle this ammo, this firearm's not going to serve me any purpose whatsoever. So wish me luck, and we'll see how it goes. Alright, it cycled all 5 rounds and locked back on the last round. That's what I was hoping for. Got one more magazine loaded up, and we'll see how this one functions. Alright, we got perfect cycling on that one. It cycled all 5 rounds and locked back the slide on the last round. Alright, so I'm going to switch this up to some 180 grain range ammo, and we're going to see if it functions well with that. But I am very happy with the results so far. We'll be back in just a second. Alright, we're back with the Smith & Wesson M&P 2.0 10mm, the 4.6 full-size model. So far, I'm really pleasantly surprised with the results I've gotten from the spring change. I went ahead and fired the other 10 rounds that I had in that box off camera. 5 rounds in each magazine. Those function perfectly. So I took the Underwood range supply, the 180 grain full metal jacket. I loaded 10 rounds into each magazine to see if this gun with the heavier springs can cycle some more lower powered stuff. So I'm gonna see how this goes. We'll speed up the shots per second a little bit to make sure the firearm functions properly. If this does have a hiccup on this range ammo, I'm not too concerned. If I really want to target practice with the firearm, I could always switch it back to the stock recoil spring, and that probably would take care of any issue with range ammo. But we'll see how it functions. Alright, as you can see, it ran all 20 of those flawlessly, locked back the slide on each magazine when it was empty. So I really wasn't going for accuracy there, but I just wanted to make sure this gun was going to feed. Now don't get me wrong, I'm going to definitely have to run a lot more of that hardcast through here before I'm really comfortable carrying this in the woods. I'll stick to my XD until I put this through its paces. It's really kind of a shame that you even have to buy aftermarket parts to make a firearm run reliably on, specific ammo. The folks at Smith & Wesson should take into account that a lot of people carry 10mm in the woods for protection. I mean, for my everyday carry, I carry a Glock 19 Gen 5, 9mm. So I'm not going to carry this in a appendix holster every day for two-legged threats. But anyway, I'm very happy with that. I guess it was worth the money I spent on the ammo. I'll be ordering some more. I'll start featuring this in some of my penetration tests instead of that old Springfield I have. And I hope it continues to thrive, I tell you. So as far as that goes, I'm going to say goodbye for now. You guys have a wonderful day. Thanks for sticking around. If you haven't already, please subscribe, hit the like button, ring the bell notification. I will get back very soon with some more content. Until next time on the Penetration Channel.